fucking troubling, bro. Jesus.
Everybody is talking about Baby Reindeer.
I don't think everybody's talking about Baby Reindeer because I'd never heard of it until tonight.
I didn't expect it.
One of the first things that viewers of Baby Reindeer are told by Netflix is that this is a true story. Not
Dude, I'd
based on
never
a true
heard of this
story
shit.
or inspired by real events, but a true story. It's emphatic about that. The show's writer, comedian Richard Gadd, even plays the lead role himself. Many millions of people across the world have now seen it. It's one of the biggest Netflix shows of the year. And I've watched it all. It's
Dude, I've not heard of the show.
Worthy of all the
Till tonight.
It's now receiving. Viewers are gripped by the apparently real-life struggle of a fledgling stand-up comedian who is mercilessly stalked by an older woman, Martha, in a 3-year onslaught of harassment. Martha bombards him with tens of thousands of lurid emails, leaving hundreds of voicemails, lurking outside his house, attacking his partner, even confronting his family and friends. Now, Richard Gadd said that he and Netflix had gone to such great lengths to disguise Martha's real identity that she wouldn't even recognize herself. But that wasn't true. Many people did recognize her very quickly.
I'm sure they did.
The story was outed online within hours simply by cross-referencing her posts on social media with those that were used in the show. Other details about her character bear a striking, unavoidable similarity with the real woman now accused of being the crazed stalker Martha. The show raises uncomfortable questions about the line between fact and fiction, fantasy and reality. Another innocent man in the television industry has been falsely accused of sexual assault based on one of the storylines in the drama. Well, Fiona Harvey is the woman outed as the real Martha of Baby Reindeer. She's chosen to confirm her identity because she wants to have a right of reply. And so, in her first television interview, she joins me now in the studio. Well, thank you for joining me, Fiona.
This feels so exploitative.
Internet sleuths tracked me down and hounded me and gave me death threats, so it wasn't really a choice. I was forced into this situation.
What do you hope to achieve in this interview?
I came on your show because you're a veteran broadcaster. I think you'll give me a fair hearing. You were persecuted yourself not so long ago. So that's why I've chosen this show.
And it's a chance for me to get famous! Right? Dude! If she gets famous off this shit, we just need to burn the entire reality TV syndrome to the ground, bro. That's where we're at, okay? We're at the point where the person who stalks somebody is getting the big TV interview. Dude, what are we doing?
Have you watched the drama?
Not at all.
It's crazy.
I've heard about the court scene, about the jail sentences and all this sort of stuff.
But you really haven't watched any of it?
I haven't watched any of it.
You're not curious to?
No, I think I'd be sick. It's taken over enough of my life. I find it quite obscene. I find it horrifying, misogynistic. Some of the death threats have been really terrible online. People phoning me up. You know, it's been absolutely horrendous. I wouldn't give credence to something like that, and it's not really my kind of drama.
When did you know that you were the person being depicted in this? 5
years ago on BBC Breaking News, I saw Mr. Gadd had written a play for the Edinburgh Festival, and he was holding up placards, MP's wife stalker, and all of this, and he'd called it Baby Reindeer. That's all I knew. And I thought, well, I've only met this guy 2 or 3 times. I don't know him.
Now she's saying she's only met him 2 or 3 times. Something about this whole situation just feels...
And told me that I was getting death threats online, that I'd been outed as Martha. There were TikTok videos.
Were you online at all? Because you were...
So I don't understand what the whole point of this interview is. So this guy who was actually stalked goes and creates a show with Netflix. Netflix does the show. So it's like based on a true story. Then this woman is either the woman who actually stalked him, or she was like kind of stalked him, but he's blown it like way out of proportion in order to dramatize this story, right? I mean, I'm sure it's a little of both, right? I'm certain that some of it is overly dramatized because it's not a documentary. And then, I don't know, man. It just feels like You know how people are afraid of artificial intelligence, right? There's all this talk about artificial intelligence. It feels like we're already living in artificial intelligence because we're already living where our entertainment and human beings' lives like cross over one another in ways that feel super harmful. You know, we've got the real guy dramatizing this story and the real stalker, and they're both just sort of being chewed up by the public in order for us to forget the shithole that the world is.
But are you these days
I don't know.
online?
It doesn't feel good to me.
I've come off Facebook as of yesterday.
Are you on X, what used to be Twitter?
No, I'm not.
'Cause you
on
had an
Twitter.
account.
Yeah, that's right. Years and years ago. I'm scared to Google up BBC breaking news. I'm certainly scared to Google up the Daily Mail in case I am on it in some bizarre circus.
That moment you realized it was you.
And I mean, she most certainly is not equipped to handle fame, especially if she was actually a
Depicted from
stalker.
What you were reading, the sleuths, as you say, had found your tweets. They compared some of the phraseology. They'd done the maths and they worked out this was you that was being depicted. How did that make you feel?
Absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I couldn't believe he'd done that. And so long after first meeting, you know, we're talking 10, 12 years ago, really horrendous. I didn't know who to trust. I was told by the Daily Mail, don't trust those bleeps in Scotland. Whereas I found Joe...
Those bleeps in Scotland?
Well, actually, he's acted with total courtesy. I couldn't believe this had happened.
I want to play a little clip. This is just some of the reaction to Baby Reindeer from members of the public.
She ends up becoming this the craziest stalker I ever seen in my life.
And this is all a true story.
This is all a true story, yeah. And they've found the real woman online.
So I assume in the actual thing, they've obviously given her a different name. It's a different woman, but you know what I find? They always manage to find a similar looking woman, and the build tends to be the same.
I have a theory about this, though. I feel like he's done it on purpose because he knew that people would find her and he wants to make her life hell a bit.
Of course he did. I mean, there's no way you play yourself in a story about your life that had a real specific person that still exists out in the world. I mean, he had to know it would take about 5 minutes to figure out who it was. There is no way he didn't do that on purpose.
Find her and he wants to make her life hell a bit.
When you hear that, what do you think?
The final guy on there, I think, is correct. I think I just wanted this to come out.
Yeah, we all think he's correct.
To take attention away from him and this rape allegation, and I just generally think...
So what's the rape allegation? What am I missing with the rape allegation? So Richard Gadd is this guy, and he's the guy who was actually the Baby Reindeer, and he's the guy who created the story, stars in it. So the actor, writer, and director Sean Foley contacted police after he was falsely accused of rape. I'm super confused by this. Oh, okay. So there's a character in the show. So he was assaulted, but I got it. Okay, now I got it. What it is this guy was working with another comedy writer who was sexually abusing him. See, I don't know, dude. I gotta admit that I'm kind of not liking this fucking guy. And here's why. Because so he got sexually abused and he got stalked. But he didn't go into the real world and actually like deal with the person who sexually abused him and come forward with it and, you know, have a case. He didn't deal with the stalker woman necessarily. He survived both of those things, went on, and now he's made a Netflix show that is this reality TV experience of everyone in the world trying to figure out who the real people are. I get it. So the Sean Foley guy is the person that used to write with him that now people are accusing him of being the dude who sexually abused him. See, this whole thing seems kind of dirty. Dude, the whole thing seems kind of fucking dirty and weird. Like, why isn't this guy actually coming forward and saying who the person is who sexually abused him and really fucking dealing with it. Instead of writing a show where every writer who ever partnered up with him is gonna now get accused of this. Like, this is fucking toxic, bro. This whole fucking show should be burned to the ground. It's #1 worldwide. Yeah, but like, I don't care if it's #1 worldwide. You know, the value of human beings should be more important than being a fucking Netflix show. I think this shit is dumb. It's super toxic. You know what's funny about it? Is I'm not even gonna watch this fucking show, bro. I'm not gonna watch this movie on Netflix. I'm not going to. I don't need to be a part of this drama. I mean, I'm a part of it now, just talking about it. But this is the shit, though, that I don't like. This is why politics is so fucked up. This is why the world is so fucked up right now, because we're lining up to, like, dehumanize people and create suspicion and chaos and discord just to try and get fame and make money and claw our way out of the fucking shithole that is humanity, bro. It's gross, dude.
He's got extreme psychiatric.
It's fucking gross.
I mean, there's no doubt he has problems. I mean, if you watch given that he's written it about himself, if you watch the whole thing as I did, all 5, 6 episodes, whatever it is, he has a lot of problems. He's quite open about that. The question, I guess, which we'll come to, is how much of the way he depicts you is true. And your position is that it's just not factual.
It's a work of fiction. It's a work of hyperbole, as I've always said.
Hyperbole. I love it. Hyperbole. Let's go.
Richard Gadd, and he worked as a jobbing barman on benefits in the Holy Arms, and we met 2 or 3 times. Those are the only.
Well, let's go through some of these things. So, you first met him. I mean, the show shows you coming in to a London pub. You've just named the pub. And he's working behind the bar, Richard Gadd, and he offers you a cup of tea. Is that what happened?
No, that's not correct.
Dude, did she ever get locked up? Like, was she ever locked up? Because I saw something about this today in passing. I didn't know what it was, but it was just somebody asking about like 40,000 emails or some shit. So obviously, if the guy got 40,000 emails, you should be able to look at the guy's email account. I mean, if a woman sends me 40,000 emails, I ain't deleting that shit. You're going to hold on to that shit, right? She did time? Okay.
He didn't offer me a cup of tea. Nobody gets anything free from the Holy Arms. I was in for a meal with a drink of lemonade, and I was very, very hungry. I'm diabetic, so very hungry. So that's.
And did you talk to him?
He interrupted a conversation. There was another barman there, and he said, "Oh, you're Scottish," and basically commandeered
Dude,
the
Piers.
conversation. I was talking to somebody. It's pretty rude to interrupt.
Piers
so
will scrape the barrel, dude. He will,
Just
bro.
speaking to you, I never met you before, but you do look and sound very similar to the actress in the drama.
I haven't seen the actress. We're both Scottish. We've both got dark hair. She's considerably younger than me. I think she's about 18 years younger than me.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 58. I'm a year younger than you.
58? Dude, yeah, but like just from seeing that minute of a trailer, the woman in the trailer looks just like her. I mean, he made it pretty obvious.
The actress is about 40, 38, 40.
Age on
It
TV
says
doesn't
in
matter.
the show that you proceeded to return to the same pub time and again, but you never paid for a drink.
I don't drink alcohol. And
Did you pay for anything that you had in the pub?
lemonade or soft drinks.
Would he give you free drinks? Or?
No, absolutely not. This is sort of a depiction of me as a pauper who wouldn't stand around or stand a drink. It's nonsense.
It says that you told Richard Gadd that he looked like a baby reindeer toy you once had as a child, hence the name of the show.
Yeah.
Is that
yeah.
true?
I appear to have written most of the show in my sleep. I dressed.
Did you have a baby reindeer
I
toy?
had a toy reindeer.
So that's true.
And he'd shaved his head. That bit is true. And there were reindeers in the shops. It was Christmas time or something.
Dude, this is so weird.
So I have inadvertently penned the name of the show.
Right, but that is true.
That's true. That's a true fact.
Whilst bantering with you, Richard Gadd told you he'd like to hang your curtains. Is that true?
This, I think, was a Holy Arms joke about curtains and a lot of sexual innuendo.
He did say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it true that you caught Richard Gadd looking through your window after he followed you home one day?
False.
You never saw him at your house?
I didn't see him at my house. I think it would be impossible to look through a window.
Did anyone else ever see him there? So as far as you were concerned, he never turned up at your place.
Correct.
But the Netflix show has him doing that.
Yes, I believe so. I believe so. I've been told that.
But that categorically didn't happen.
That categorically didn't happen.
Well, dude, I mean, what is he gonna do? Is he just going through the whole plot of this show? I mean, obviously it's gonna be dramatized. She claims she never watched the show. Yeah, I'm not buying that. I'm sure she watched the show, right? I'm sure she did. Come on. She's saying she's getting death threats and she's not watching the show. I mean, I feel like everybody right now, everybody I'm looking at is lying to me. Okay? I'm certain the show creator, Piers Morgan, this woman, I think they're all probably lying to us. Because obviously the creator, I mean, we saw that article. The creator said something about how if I wanted people to find it, I would have made a documentary. And I don't know that he would have, I don't know that he would have made a documentary. He seemed to very specifically, like he didn't have to star in it. Okay. He very specifically made something that was probably, I don't know if it was the producers that, he's working with or whatever that masterminded this plan, but it feels very established. Again, I've not seen the show, but you have a guy with these real life issues making a show that is true to his real life, where these characters look just like the real people, and he decides to star in it and be the vehicle of fame behind his own story. That's a very reality TV. That is like, you know what it reminds me of? It's like that Nicolas Cage movie, Adaptation, right? Where he writes himself into the script. That's literally what we're watching. We're watching this real life adaptation concoction, taking this lurid tabloid level reality TV take on this fictional story, but that's going to bring all these other pieces and intrigue and just get eaten up by people who want to forget the horrors of the world. Feels gross, dude. I'm going to take a 2-hour shower after making this video.
Richard Gadd, you send him 41,000 emails.
All right, here we go.
350 voice messages, 744 tweets, 48 Facebook messages, and 106 letters.
That's simply not true. If somebody was sending somebody 41,000 emails or something, they'd be doing how many a day? Lots.
Well, they'd be obsessively
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
What did you send him?
No, none of that's true. I don't think I sent him anything.
You never sent him anything?
No.
So where is this shit? This guy's saying he got 41,000 emails. I want to see the email account. If it's true, obviously that shit is probably not true. That is probably super dramatized, right? You think? I mean, 700 tweets? I have death threats in my phone from 2021, bro. If you go into my Instagram folder, when I blew up on Fortnite, I was getting like 50 Instagram messages a day for 6 months. So I literally have, I have so many messages in my Instagram inbox that I just couldn't even read them. There's still probably 8,000 unread messages from 2021. Dude, I went back 2 years later in 2023 and tried to answer some, and it was just too overwhelming. So you would think if he got that many messages, if it was real, he'd have some sort of a record, but that also feels like something you would dramatize for the sake of the show.
I think there may have been a couple of emails exchanging, but that was it. Just jokey banter emails.
Netflix have said that these details are the real ones. That this is exactly
completely incorrect.
So you're denying sending anything to him?
So let's see
There
him.
may have been a couple of emails.
Text messages?
No.
Facebook messages?
No.
Did you tweet him?
I may have done years and years ago.
You actually tweeted him numerous times.
No, it wasn't numerous. It was about 18 tweets there or 14.
It's quite a lot to someone who's not that well known.
But we were all friends. You know, it was banter.
Right, but it establishes you were contacted. That's in public.
Yes, I mean this.
Did you write him letters?
Public, no. I think when I saw the rape interview, that's actually incorrect. What I said there, when I saw that in the Guardian, I said, "What a shame! It's not your fault." Something
You
like
did
that.
write to him.
One later.
So you would say you only sent him a handful of emails. You never texted him.
No.
You tweeted him 18 times, you think.
18?
You never sent a Facebook message.
That's
and
right.
you wrote him one letter.
Yeah.
So why have they got all these details here which are supported?
Who is they? Netflix.
Who has
That's
sent
just
all
not
these things?
correct. So I'm sorry.
Who has sent all this stuff to him?
I've no idea. I think he's probably made it up himself.
I mean,
Well, let's see the emails. I want to see some substantiation, right? I mean, already right here, we got Piers saying that Netflix is confirming 41,000 emails. So, Piers, did you see some of these emails? Let's see the emails. Come on, Netflix. This is where it gets that weird gray area. Where is Netflix creating this whole milieu of this craziness that's now going to land on her? But 41,000 emails and Netflix says it's accurate. That means somebody's seen the emails, right? Let's see those emails. Show me the
could
inbox.
prove, I guess quite easily it wasn't you.
Correct.
Because it'd all be on your
That is a
computer.
lot of
correct.
emails.
That's right.
Would you be happy for someone to look at that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
What do you have? What technology do you use?
Right. What technology do I use? A very, very old smartphone just now because the other one packed up a week before moving. That's it.
Because they're all sent from an iPhone.
Yes. So
But they believe it wasn't actually an iPhone ever being used.
meaning what
Meaning
kind
that
of a
someone
phone?
was hiding the fact that they were actually not using it.
So they were
pretending
spoofing.
It was from an iPhone.
I don't really understand
spoofing.
that.
Well, people can mask where they're sending stuff from.
I don't really understand that. It's called spoofing. Scotland, my Scottish darling.
Okay, right. I'm not Technology Whiz Kid of the Year. I wasn't doing that either.
I mean, obviously, when you make
So
such an
what is this though? Like, let's think about this though, okay? Because she said this was what? 5 years ago she heard he was making this thing. That's 2019. And it was supposedly years before that. This is like 10, 12 years ago that these real events supposedly happened. So in 2012, spoofing was not nearly as readily available to people as it is now. Right now, any geeky 13-year-old internet savvy kid could probably figure out how to spoof email and make it seem like it was coming from an iPhone. You could probably find that shit online, how to do that. But in 2012, I think it was much more complicated than that. So I don't know.
emphatic denial of the central point of the story, you're basically accusing both him but also Netflix of lying about it.
I am.
And that's
I will say this though, Piers, because what he did there, dude, he pulled some shit like he was doing with Hassan in that interview where he said, oh, you're accusing Netflix and him of lying. But wait a second. Netflix is the one making the claim, bro. Piers, you know this. Netflix is the one saying there were 41,000 emails. It's kind of their job to show us the evidence, isn't it? Because who benefits? Who stands to benefit from this? You know, like Netflix stands to benefit from this whole thing. And the wilder and the crazier and the more outlandish and more overwhelming it is, the more it feeds their little machine, their little hype machine, right? The crazier you are, you know, the bigger you're going to get. That's kind of the reality TV world. Look at it with fucking Donald Trump or fucking dinks like Andrew Tate or Aiden Ross. It's like the more brain dead and outlandish your lies, the bigger the reality TV machine will make you. But I don't like the fact that Piers is standing here like, he's like, oh, you're calling Netflix a liar. But like, dude, Piers, how can Piers even have her on this show without him verifying that Netflix has seen those emails? Like, I wouldn't have somebody on my show with Netflix saying that the woman sent 41,000 emails unless Netflix showed me 41,000 emails. I know, dude, everything about this is exploitation. But it's me too. I'm going to put this video on fucking YouTube and I'm going to exploit it. That's what we are. We're just an exploitation train, bro. It's gross, dude. 2-hour shower, boss.
pretty
Jesus.
defamatory.
It's not defamatory if it's true.
No, it's defamatory that they've been to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I misunderstood there. Yes, exactly. I don't see how anyone could do 41,000 emails and all this kind of stuff, you know.
I don't know how much you know about technology, but are you aware that if it was you sending those emails, it would be very easy for the police, for example, to work out exactly where they come from? The IP address would reveal that.
Yes, I understand that, and it stays on forever. But the point is, this was years and years ago. We were congratulating him.
But it would all still be there.
Yes, I understand that. Yeah.
And if you sent 41,000 emails,
this is just a lot of rubbish. Yeah, so that should be stored there.
Well, they'd all be there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got them.
See, that's the thing that bothers me about this is just what you said. Wouldn't surprise you if she gets a Netflix show. This is like The Plane Woman, right? Tiffany Gomez or whatever her name is. That motherfucker is not real. And now she's like a right-wing influencer hanging out with Riley Gaines' bestie. They're going to get in a hot tub together and go hate on some gays. I feel like we have got to fucking stop this train of reality TV elevation of the worst personalities possible. That's the world we're living in, where everybody is learning. Be a shitty, outrageous, over-the-top, criminal level person, and you too can get famous and get a TV show. It's like, what are we doing, bro? We're really going in reverse.
That's over a year.
According to you, there's only a handful.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, how long would that take someone to type up?
How many do you think you sent him?
A handful.
Like
that.
What does that mean? How many?
Less than 10.
10 emails.
Not 41,000.
Right, there's a massive disparity between the two.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's figure we have 41,000 emails divided by 365 days. That would be 112 emails a day if it was in a year. Do we know how long of a period it was that he was stalked? So a 4-year period divided by 4 is 10,250 divided by 365. So that's 28 emails a day. I mean, for 4 years, that's still a lot of emails, bro. That's a lot. That's quite a claim, though.
I agree.
I mean, if it's not you that sent all this, then clearly Martha cannot be you.
Dude, we got to see the
Martha
emails.
cannot be me because there are a number of allegations that have been put to me by journalists that are simply not true. There's a whole play. It's not just the emails. There's a sexual assault in the canal. There's...
But if the police looked at this and if you sue, for example...
See, somebody in chat, though, said that she went to jail. Didn't you? Somebody said that she served time. Yeah, Angrain said she did time, but, like, I don't think she did time. I don't think that's accurate.
Go to a court of law, and then on discovery, people will look into all this. The phone company will be asked about evidence of all the text messages. The internet providers will provide all the backup for the emails. Facebook will be asked about the Facebook messages, and so on.
Oh,
so all of
in
this
the
will
story
come out
she did
in a court case.
In disclosure, yes.
And you're prepared to do that.
Yes, because I didn't write him the emails.
Who do you think did?
I have no idea. I think he probably made them up himself. I've no idea. 41,000 emails.
Yeah. I mean, would
I
you
don't know.
Would you accept that someone who did that would be very obsessive about someone?
Yes. I mean, that's a lot of emails.
41,000 emails is a lot.
Why now? Why didn't you go to the police at the time? Or this sort of doesn't make sense.
I mean, the fact that Netflix have said this is based on reality.
Dude, see, Piers, though, I hate when he does this. Dude, he pulls the same shit. He keeps going back to the fact that Netflix says this is a reality. But Piers, have you looked at the fucking emails yourself? You know, like he keeps going back to the whole Netflix says this is real. But hey, man, I'm sorry. I'm not believing Netflix. Okay, Netflix told me that I'd never have commercials, right? They told you the same thing too. And then a couple years later, there's fucking commercials even while you're paying monthly. So Netflix, I mean, they ain't the most truthful bird on the block, if you know what I mean. But I find it really weird, though, personally. My personal thing is I find it weird that this Gadd guy who created this show decided to star in it and make it his real life. Why is he putting a sexual assault with the comedy writer? And why is he putting a real woman who looks just like this woman in the show as a stalker when he never actually went after them in real life, right? He made it very reality TV, very like pinpointed about this real shit, but he never actually went and confronted the real trauma and did anything about it in his real life. That seems super exploitative and, I don't know, just trashy.
There's a true story that Martha did, the real life Martha, the person they based this on, who Richard Gadd has written about, is the person that sent these. And he has the evidence to prove it. What you're saying is that proves you cannot be Martha.
Yes, and I would like to see Netflix's evidence for
Yeah,
that.
me too. You tell him, Fiona. Let's go, Martha.
And you're 100% sure it's not you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It goes on to say that you heckle Richard Gadd when
I
he's
want to see
appearing
the
in
evidence.
stand-up shows. Did you ever do that?
No.
Never.
No, it's not.
Did you ever attend his stand-up?
I think I went to one. It was a long, long time ago.
And you never shouted out or anything?
Why would I do that? No.
I don't know.
No. I mean,
Do you ever shout out at comedy shows? I don't know. People do.
No. I don't generally go to comedy shows. But
So you
no.
never heckled him?
No.
Did you ever attack Richard Gadd's girlfriend because you were jealous?
No, I don't think he had a girlfriend. I think he's homosexual. But no, I never been to his house.
Oh, dude. You see that? She just dropped the gay card right there. Oh, Martha. Rolling those dice. Oh, she just slipped it in there too. She just like slid that shit in there. Now, obviously, if someone's stalking you and they attack your girlfriend, you're going to go to the cops, right? You're going to go to the cops, aren't you? But she just stashed that in there.
Homosexual, but no, I have never been to his house or attacked any girlfriend or anything like that.
There are lots of scenes where Martha is
Sly.
sitting outside his house all day for
Right.
many days, sitting in a bus stop, sitting out there, walking around, and would occasionally
Dude,
shout at him.
This is
Did you ever
so
do that?
trashy.
I haven't seen the show, but I'm getting.
I have, so I'm
got
telling you.
yes, I got all the court allegations, the trial allegations.
I'm going to come to that, but on that
yeah.
point, did you ever turn up at his house?
No, I don't know. I don't know where he lived.
Dude, so this though is got to be phony, right? She's saying I never sold the show, but like, dude, you're gonna go on a major like network show or whatever from in front of millions of eyes to defend your reality, defend your thing, talk about maybe filing a defamation case, and you never bothered to watch the show before you do that? Come on. Martha, you just slid in the whole, like, thinking he's a homosexual, which Piers didn't even pick up the hot potato. You notice that? He left that there.
No, absolutely not.
So whoever's doing all this is somebody completely different.
This is a fictional character, hyperbole, exaggeration. This is a fiction
Well, it's based on-
I
of his imagination.
love the
They
way
say
she
it's
says,
based on a real
she
person.
says hyperbole.
Who's they?
Hyperbole.
Netflix
Or
and Richard Gadd.
Netflix are about as mad as Richard Gadd. If they're saying that, it's absolutely not correct.
Did you ever contact Richard Gadd's parents and threaten them?
No, that allegation was put to me by journalists. No,
Never happened.
no.
There's one key point in the drama that has Martha's character pleading guilty to intimidating Richard Gadd in court and sentenced to 9 months prison time. Let's watch.
So this is like 8 years ago?
Now, again, there is
Some nice camera work there. All right, Moody.
obviously a resemblance between...
Do you think so?
a bit, but
That's
I
hardly
mean-
flattering.
Well, I don't mean to flatter
Do you
or not
think
flatter you. I
so?
just said
Come
there is
on.
a resemblance, you know, having met you, and you both speak Scottish people. But the
Oh, come on,
fundamental
Piers.
point of this
You know
is,
it's because of the
did you-
weight,
did
right?
you d-
Because
take
of the
part in that?
physical
Did you go to
size,
jail?
as
Did
you're
you go to
making
jail?
that comparison.
Of course not.
Have you ever been to prison?
No,
Have you ever been charged with a
nowhere
criminal
near it.
offence?
No,
Never.
no,
Nothing.
nothing.
So that scene is completely invented.
That's completely false, and I don't think the actress sounds like me. I mean, people compare me to Lorraine Kelly, but I look nothing like Lorraine Kelly. We all happen to have dark hair, and we're Scottish.
Now, obviously, Piers, did he do any homework here? Did he do any you know, it should be pretty easy for him to know if she's been in jail,
No.
right?
I think the actress is from Glasgow, I think, but I'm not sure.
But
I'm not from Glasgow.
And which part of Scotland are you from?
I'm from the Central Belt.
So it's a slightly different accent.
I lived with a guy from Scotland once. Dude, he was so cool. It was a wild time.
Point here, because if they basically have a key point in their drama, which they say is a true story, which involves you admitting to intimidating Richard Gadd and getting a 9-month prison sentence. And that is completely untrue.
That's completely untrue. Very, very defamatory to me. Very career damaging. And I wanted to rebut that.
Well, here's the thing, though. This is the thing that's so crazy about it is I feel like this whole concept sort of blurs a lot of lines. Because if you make a show that's based on a true story, you can't really be defamatory because you're dramatizing. A classic example is Tom Cruise, Born on the 4th of July. Oliver Stone and Tom Cruise, they made this movie about Ron Kovic. Okay, he was the guy from Born on the 4th of July, but there's a whole bunch of details in that movie that are not real. They dramatize the story. But here's the deal, though. No, I think it goes a little deeper. Right? Because when Oliver Stone and Tom Cruise and they made that story about Ron Kovic, they had to get Ron Kovic's rights to the story, okay? Because they're dramatizing a real person's life. So that person is getting compensated and that person may have some conditions of certain things they can and cannot explore, but there's a rights to the story. Now, this Gadd guy, made a story that didn't just say based on a true story. I guess it says this is a true story, but he put the real experiences and lives of real human beings, the person who molested him, the woman who stalked him, into that story. But he never got the rights to their story. Like, I can write a story about me and dramatize my life as long as I change the names and make it so you can never tell who those people are. But if I start writing a story where I am telling an alternate story of another human being, I think, like, you have to have the rights to be telling their story. And I don't know, it's going to be really interesting, you know, to see what happens with this. I'm probably not going to follow it because I find this shit petty and trite, but
completely
maybe we'll hear about it.
Stalker. I've not been to jail. I've not got injunctions, interdicts. This is just complete nonsense. But it's, I mean, you'll know yourself, if you're charged with a criminal offence, it will go fine, bigger fine, whatever. Very few people go to jail.
Well, you'd have a police record.
Nowadays.
Yeah. Have you ever changed your name?
My surname was double-barreled.
What was it?
Muir Harvey. So Muir Harvey.
M-U-I-R.
Yes.
Harvey.
When I got when the parents got divorced, I changed it to Harvey. I just dropped.
So your maiden name when you were born was
that's right.
Was
Muir. Yes.
Muir Harvey.
Yeah.
So that's quite an unusual name.
Yeah.
So if you'd ever received a criminal conviction for anything, it would be on police files.
Yes.
Dude, is Piers going to pull up and
charged with an offence?
No.
And did he do a little research here? Is there going to be a big reveal?
Yes, I mean, this is 9.5 months in jail. It's pretty serious.
Did Netflix ever contact you?
No, no one's contacted me.
Never.
Never.
Did Richard Gadd tell you what he was doing?
No, I had worked it out when I saw the festival Baby Reindeer advert on BBC.
The Edinburgh Festival,
the Edinburgh
was the show
Festival.
you did.
I just happened to see that. I was looking up the news for something else.
Because that's where
I just happened to see that.
Well, that's where he started telling the story, and that got picked up.
I'm shocked. And I think Martha then was a bar stool. I seem to recall reading that. It wasn't an actress or a person, it was a bar stool.
Let me just show a little clip. This is from Lorraine, actually, who you just compared yourself to. But let's take a look at this.
Well, other people do.
This is Richard Gadd on Lorraine.
I just thought it was the right time to sort of try and bring a nuanced conversation to something. I think the human condition is extremely complicated, and I felt like a lot of art and TV in this day and age had maybe simplified it too much.
It's not a villain and victim storyline. I think you're left with a lot more than that. It's kind of two lost people.
What's your response to that?
I think they're milking it for all it's worth for the money. She doesn't even sound Scottish in that interview. Her accent seems to be varying.
Well, she's not. She's English. She's an actress.
I was going to say it sounds more Lancashire to me. Yeah,
no, she's English. She's an actress. She's putting on the voice for you.
They're milking it for all they're worth. It was the right time to abuse someone all over social media and all over, basically somebody who's not from Loveyland.
I mean, there's definitely something deceptive about the presentation of this story from that Gadd character. I simply from a point of artistic integrity. Even there on the show, he said, "Oh, I think we're ready to have this nuanced conversation," but he's creating a pseudo documentary reality TV movie about his life with some very strong claims about being stalked and sexually abused, but having not even had the conversation in real life. This guy has sort of like pulled these other people and the suspicion of who are these people, kind of like a Gossip Girl sort of deal of figuring out who is who. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of created this whole, metaverse of reality TV meets real life Charlie Kaufman adaptation kind of vibe, which feels very staged. It feels very created.
Not from theatre.
I don't know.
Just abused me all over the newspapers.
I mean, I haven't seen the show.
What do you feel about Richard Gadd?
But
I think he's psychotic, and I think that anyone going along, being in that play, and doing this to somebody, I find the behaviour outrageous.
He says the whole thing started because he felt sorry for you, and that's why he befriended you.
Your staff said that to me in the waiting room. This is a lot of nonsense. I've got lots of friends.
What did you talk to him about?
It was just a holy arms banter. It was
like what? What kind of thing?
What you're going to do with your life, or career stuff. Sort of. And I thought he was a stand-up show.
But is it possible he was under the impression that he felt sorry for you?
No, I never got that impression at all. I got the impression that he was all out for himself, wanted to sort of control that bar, very, very inarticulate, very full of himself. I should never have gone in that bar.
Do you wish you never had?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
How long did you know him for?
The whole drama behind this
3 months.
seems kind of slight.
At maximum. He only worked there on certain days.
And did you always go on the days he worked there?
No, I've been in there on different days having food.
So she's saying she only knew him for 2 to 3 months. He is saying it was 4 years. Now, obviously, it could very well be that she came in over 2-3 months and, there were some awkward interactions. It felt awkward. He could have just dramatized this whole thing to make this crazy story. But it's really weird, though, that Netflix is talking all this line about the 41,000 emails, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, but nobody's seen any of the proof. You finished the show, you think the dude was as crazy as she was? I mean, I think the whole creation of this show, the whole concept behind it, of having trauma in your real life, supposedly not ever dealing with any of those traumas in real life, and then just dramatizing a, fake show that's kind of real, but claiming it's real, so all these other people can get caught up in it, sounds a little,
have other people from
toxic.
Nobody's contacted me
no one
about this at all, apart from the media. The mainstream media and stalkers on social media.
He says, Richard Gadd, he didn't see you as a villain, but as somebody who is unwell and needs help.
Yeah, well, he maybe should look a bit closer to home, to himself, as someone who needs help.
What, you think he's mentally unwell?
Yes, I think he always was. Whether there was an alleged rape or whether that rape was real or conceived in his mind, I think that would make him more
That's a rape that he
unwell.
says happened. It was a television person. We don't know who it was. Somebody was falsely linked with it who turns out to have nothing to do with it. But it's a very graphic scene in the drama where he is brutally raped after a lot of drugs are taken. And he's kind of very...
That's your conspiracy theory?
Very self-reflective about himself. So he's no angel. He's not perfect. He's made lots of mistakes. And he didn't treat you, in his eyes, as a villain, like he says, as somebody he felt that you were both slightly lost souls.
I didn't know the rape scene was in the play until this morning. Somebody's daughter had watched it.
It's not a play.
About it, so I was
quit calling it a play.
Once again, well, not surprised actually.
That bothers
I'm really
me.
Surprised by anything he does nowadays.
It's the little things that get me.
A couple of other shows about this alleged rape, then this one, and we've had no apologies from Netflix or him or nothing. I mean, for someone who says he feels sorry for me, I've had no apology, and I have this Martha character seems to have smashed up a bar, sexually assaulted him in a canal, been to prison. There are a number of other allegations there.
And none of that is true.
That's not true.
He says that people shouldn't try to find out the identity of the real people in the drama. Do you give him credit for that? I mean,
No.
He actually tweeted this. People.
No.
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
this. I'm sorry, but this right here. This is bullshit. Okay, this is fucking bullshit. Hi, everyone. People I love, have worked with, and admire, including Sean Foley, are unfairly getting caught up in speculation. Please don't speculate on who any of the real life people could be. That's not the point of our show, but it is the point of their show. It's the entire fucking point of this show, right? This is a true story. She looks like a real person. This guy never dealt with any of these real traumas. Like, come on, bro. Do I think she was how she was depicted in the show? I don't know, dude. I mean, there's a huge discrepancy. She says she knew him for 3 months. He's saying it's 4 years. They're saying 41,000 emails. You would have them, right? But what I'm not seeing is I'm not seeing anybody pony up with evidence, almost to the fact that like all of these people could just be in on it, right? Netflix is going to produce a show for Martha Fiona Harvey next, right? Like the whole thing could be a setup based around a rape that never really happened. Like maybe, it's just hard to tell. I guess what's really weird about this is I don't really fucking care. Like I've been watching this for 26 minutes. I feel like this whole concept is pretty trashy. Feels a lot like scummy reality TV. And this kind of gossipy sort of stuff is not, I don't know. It doesn't get my nads, burning. You know what I'm saying? This whole, like, I don't care who's telling the truth. Because I kind of think everyone, including Piers Morgan, is scuzzy. Piers Morgan is pretty scuzzy. Crackhead Barney, now, like, Martha Fiona Harvey. Next thing you know, it'll be so-and-so. Yeah, but so Peter, though, Elvis's wife didn't make her own movie about Elvis, okay? Sofia Coppola made Priscilla, okay? Elvis's wife didn't make that movie. Sofia Coppola did. Sofia Coppola, who's like a real feminist voice in filmmaking, a very established and trusted feminist voice, the woman of Lost in Translation. And she made that movie based around actual historical data that was known in the real world, even though they gave different points of view of Priscilla's perspective, which we never really heard about. Nobody ever had Priscilla's voice in the Elvis story. The Elvis story was always Elvis, meeting this young girl and dating her, but nobody really worried about Priscilla. And I saw Priscilla. I thought it was a really good movie. But it was also just sort of providing Priscilla's voice and perspective on a very well-known story. Everything in Priscilla was, for the most part, was shit that actually happened. It was taking real story beats of how Elvis met her and what happened when he moved in, and then sort of dramatizing inside of that. But they didn't pull any outlandish shit of like, you know, Elvis, you know, smoking crack cocaine and having a gay love affair. You know what I'm saying? They didn't bring any wild, completely out there shit. They stuck to the timeline that everybody knew. But I think it's a little different. Like, this guy is making a story about supposedly real people that nobody knows who the people are. So nobody knows what in this story is real or not real. And yet this guy's making it knowing that people could potentially find out who the real people is, and he never talked to them first. Like I said, if I make a movie and there's somebody I know that I know could possibly get discovered in my movie, I'm going to go talk to that person. And we're probably going to even negotiate rights with them so there's not some kind of lawsuit afterwards, which kind of is what sort of makes it seem like this Fiona person is just in on it, right? A couple days later, they're discovering who she is, and she's already on Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan's giving her the crackhead Barney treatment. Doesn't it all feel a little bit like bad Twitch influencer beef, right? It feels a little bit like, you know what I'm saying? Like Jinxie yelling at, you know, Ronaldo, you know? The whole thing feels a little bit fake, bro.
With and admire, including Sean Foley, who was the man wrongly accused of being the rapist, are unfairly getting caught up in speculation. Please don't speculate on who any of the real-life people could be. That's not the point of our show. Lots of love, Richard.
Piers, I'm sorry, I can't see the date of that tweet. I can't actually see any of it.
That was literally like a few days after it was released.
Right. So. I saw the headline. It was all over BBC Breaking News 2 weekends ago for 4 days.
When did this show come out?
With Martha promoting herself, the character Martha, Jessica, promoting herself, and him saying, don't speculate. Wow, that's a bit rich now, isn't it? The fans do speculate.
Well, it was almost instantaneous. You were tracked down incredibly quickly.
The Wednesday, the Daily Mail got in touch with me, so that was all over BBC Breaking News, Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday.
I mean, the reason that internet sleuths were able to find out it was you was they found the tweets that you sent him throughout 2014. 10th of May, for example, 2014. Yeah. Richard Gadd, did you get my recorded delivery letter sent to the theatre, sent to arrive bank holiday Monday? So you sent him a letter then?
That was that. Sorry, you were raped, something like that.
12th of June, same year, your tweets cheer me up, your timeline is good. 23rd of September, my curtains need hung badly.
We were trying to encourage him because with this first show or something like that. A long time ago.
You know, so on the 18th of December, please go and see Richard Gadd's show. It's well written and neurotic.
Yeah.
The filmed bum shots are the best. Fantastic ass.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
But
we were trying to encourage him.
Nothing negative, though, about it there.
No, because I didn't think he was a complete psychopath who was going to attack me in this way.
But the show did involve you.
This show here, not that show there.
It made no reference to...
This was a previous show.
It made no reference to you, that show.
Which show?
The one you're talking about.
Yes. So, you know, it's funny this is coming up now. My view is it's all about the money. The Martha Barstow Edinburgh Festival.
This is so convoluted, bro.
He failed as a comedian, he'd failed as an actor, and therefore, let's make some money, sell this to Netflix.
Dude, Piers Morgan's kind of like a tabloid guy, isn't he?
In their 20s.
Right?
I don't believe it.
He's like a tabloid motherfucker, isn't he?
I was going to say standard Scottish, singing standard Scottish countryside.
Happy? I mean, happy upbringing?
Impoverished, but middle class upbringing, if you like.
Any siblings?
I have a sister. My mother worked incredibly hard. My parents got divorced when I was 9, but she worked like a Trojan.
Are either parents still alive?
My mother is, yeah.
And how does she feel about this?
I've not talked to her about it. I'm hoping she'll have just seen the Scottish headlines and that's it. She's not an internet freak or anything like that.
But she has no idea what's happened to you.
An internet
she
freak.
Will know, bits, and she was very, very angry with Laura Walker for doing the original article when I went for parliamentary
You haven't talked to your mother about this?
No, and that may seem strange, but I don't want to worry her.
Yeah, that does seem
I'll tell her I've been
strange.
on the show when it airs. I don't want to worry her.
Let me ask you.
That seems weird. Don't want to worry your mom, but you think your mom's not going to hear about this stuff? Does her mom live in a cave? I mean, I never heard about it until today, till I saw some, I think I saw a YouTube short or something today about 41,000 emails that sort of piqued my interest.
Ray,
Maybe I saw it on Twitter.
Inappropriate behaviour whilst you work with her. Now, the background to this is that you came into contact with the late Glasgow MP Jimmy Ray, who died aged 78 in 2013, and his solicitor wife Laura, who was 62, and she was a former Labour Party member.
Wait, what is this?
Who died aged 70, who you've referenced to.
I don't want to worry her.
Let me ask you, The Sun reported an interview with Laura Ray, who you've referenced, who accused you of inappropriate behaviour whilst you work with her. Now, the background to this is...
Oh, interesting. So now we got somebody else, though. We're getting a little deeper here. Piers is bringing up somebody else who's accused her of inappropriate behavior.
Came into contact with the late Glasgow MP Jimmy Ray, who died aged 78 in 2013, and his solicitor wife Laura, who was 62, and she was a former Labour Party member. Mrs. Ray said that she gave Aberdeen University law graduate you did.
That's right, Equalizer. He did mention it.
A trainee role at the legal firm McPhail Lawrence Partnership in 1997. Is that true?
It was called L&L Lawrence. I think she forgets the name of her own firm. It was called L&L Lawrence.
But that's all true. She gave you a trainee job.
She lured me away from another firm. She headhunted me from another firm because she needed someone to do employment law. And I'm pretty good at employment law, so... She
said that she had to sack you days later because you were completely incapable of behaving yourself.
I walked. Her staff were really, really rude to me. Most people, half the Labour Party, had been up there at one point or another and walked.
She then said that following...
A lot of this stuff is not adding up, bro.
You then harassed her. You were then known as Fiona Muir, obviously, as you said, Muir Harvey. Mrs. Ray said she was so frightened she issued workers at her firm with personal alarms. You were then served an interim interdict to stop you from contacting the lawyer or her politician husband. Daily Record reported.
Oh, Fiona! Dude, Mrs. Hadley was behaving badly.
Messed up, I know, and I've still to speak to David about that, the author of that Daily Record article. She didn't. She messed up because I went into the Court of Session, the High Court in Edinburgh, to get countrywide interdicts, an interdict and an injunction in Scotland and England because I was going to move to London anyway. She mucked up.
Sorry, you went into court to get them yourself?
Yes,
against
there was
who?
No need against Laura Walker and Jimmy Ray.
But she said one was served on you.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
An interim
we have checked this out.
Well, again, there would be a public record of
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Dude, what are personal alarms? What is that? I heard that mentioned. What is a personal alarm? Is that like some sort of thing, like a noisemaker or something? If somebody approaches you, you push it and it creates a sound to drive away your attacker, right? That's what it is. Okay.
And
you're saying that it was never served?
What we think, she served the initial documents and then
she did?
She served the initial documents and then there was no hearing. It wasn't minuted for a hearing. I said I would defend, but she mucked that up too. She didn't fill up a second initial document. She then didn't minute for decree in absence. So there is no interim interdict in Scotland.
Why would two people who have no contact with each other at all, Laura Ray and Richard Gadd.
Dude, that noise she makes, that Dude, she does feel a little like Kathy Bates, right? Misery? You getting a little Kathy Bates Misery vibe? Look at the face, bro. The like Piers is gonna get hobbled, bro. If he wakes up tomorrow and there's a couple chunks of wood sitting on the nightstand, he's gonna be sweating a little bit. That noise she makes, that is a little weird.
Why would they both portray you as a very unpleasant
I don't know why Richard Gadd has, but Laura Walker, it was certainly because I was going for parliamentary selection.
The two different, you get my point, two different people.
Yeah, but Richard Gadd has Googled that. Richard Gadd has used that as
well, that's in the drama.
Show.
Is when they find out that you had previously harassed this family.
I haven't harassed that family. I didn't harass that family. And also I worked for it in 1987, 88. The parliamentary selection wasn't until 2000. He Googled up the article because I knew he'd done that. I never went back to the Holy Arms. He was spreading it around Camden that I was a stalker. So
you've never married.
So what was that little piece of information there? She was saying she worked for that woman that headhunted her, where she worked in that law, is that employment law in 1987? Is that what she was saying? I'm a little confused. This story's jumping around because or did that happen in 2000? And I'm getting a little lost here in the story.
I know.
Have you had relationships with men?
Oh.
I mean, if you don't mind me being pure,
I'm heterosexual.
Yeah, I mean, how many relationships have you had?
I told the staff that relationships were out of bounds. A lot more than Richard Gadd has, I would say.
I mean, he had a lot.
Quite a few.
Right.
Well, I don't know if he had a lot. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how.
And obviously, now you're going. Here's my point. Now you're going public. Then the men that you've dated over the years will see this.
Yeah.
They'll be aware of it. They'll hear you.
I don't think if your next question is going to be, am I stalking them? I think the answer is going to be no.
Well, no, I just wonder how do you think they would view you?
I think they are going to think what I think about Richard Gadd, that he's completely off his head.
Dude, this is... I feel like we're in Jerry Springer territory, right? Like Piers is one step away from having a curtain open and 3 of her ex-lovers come walking in, right? Doesn't it feel? It feels like that could happen, right? I don't know. The whole thing's feeling a little lurid and chaotic at this point.
And I'm not worried about the current one because he's a lawyer and he.
So you currently have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
He's a lawyer?
Yeah.
In London?
Doesn't matter where he is. I'd rather.
No, I understand, but how long have you been?
5 years.
You've been in a 5-year relationship.
Yeah, so I don't.
So what does he think?
I don't want to drag him in. He thinks this is horrendous. All of my lawyer friends do. All of my professional friends do. Other people do.
How could he not get dragged into this?
Sympathetic. People I don't.
I mean, that's a little weird for her to say. I don't want him to get dragged into this, but it's like 11 million people have seen this video and. The show is the #1 show in the world. So certainly, this man that she's been dating for 5 years, all his family and friends and everybody who knows this woman exists, is pretty soon going to be drugged into it.
By saying things like, are you getting hounded in the street? You know, people are being really, really nice.
I mean,
anyone who does know about this.
You know, here's the thing. I don't know the truth. You do. And you've been emphatic in the number of denials you're making here.
That's right.
But many of those things that
I think Piers is a little out of her league.
Proven.
You're talking about emails and an email trail thing.
All that.
You know, all of that. You're obsessed with... Sorry, I don't mean to be horrible.
I'm not obsessed with anything.
You've gone on at length for a good 10 minutes about the emails.
Well, only because emails...
It's a vast number.
Oh! Dude! She just called him out! She's like, you're obsessed. I'm not obsessed. She's like, oh, yeah, you just went off for 10 minutes. He did. He consistently went off on the emails. And not only that, but he was like, oh, you're calling Netflix a liar. It's like, homie, Netflix needs to show the emails, bro. She's fighting back.
Well, there's a huge number and voice messages. The voice messages he's kept apparently, and there
He
is
was maybe taping me in the holy arms. I don't know if he's got any voicemail.
But if he has 350 voice messages and it's you,
that's a lot of voice
doesn't mean
messages.
the drama is true.
but is it possible he's got 350 voice
I
messages?
doubt that very much. I just don't think so.
I doubt that very much. What kind of answer is that? Did you call me 350 times or not? Come on. Come on.
Yeah, I doubt it. I mean, unless
Wouldn't
he's
he
been
be
taping me.
I mean, if you've never really contacted him, if he's
He
got
could have
three,
been taping me in the holy arms, though.
but if he's got 350,
I've not contacted
but if these
him.
are on his phone.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether they're on a phone, tablet, whatever they're on. I've not contacted
But I'm curious,
him.
why would there even be a
Well, if they're in a phone and they're messages, it's not like he recorded it with voice record. You just watch this. I don't know if I can watch the show. The whole thing feels too lurid.
possibility of him having
Reality
a number of voice
TV
messages?
weirdness.
He wants to make this up. I mean, I've not phoned the guy. I don't have his number.
Yeah, but you're not sure that he hasn't got those.
I think the only explanation for having a voicemail from me would be taping me in the holy arms. That's the only place we've
Or that
ever
you've
met.
left messages on his phone.
That's the other explanation, which just didn't happen.
You can't be sure.
I can't be sure because I didn't have his number.
Right. You just said you weren't sure if these were your voice messages.
Yeah, what I mean is somebody could be taping me. You know, somebody could have taped me in the holy arms.
Right,
On a dictaphone or something
But if
like that.
here's my point to you, is
Yeah.
that these are easily provable things.
Yeah.
He's either got them or he hasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'd
And the
be
emails-
asking for disclosure of that. But
And the emails, obviously, there'll be an IP address, and that if
yeah.
that if
Is
that
she
leads to
gonna
you-
sue?
Yeah. I mean, my point is, though, even if that were true, I didn't lunge at him across the bar. I didn't sexually assault him in a canal. I didn't go to jail.
I understand.
So,
but here's my point to you.
yeah.
Here's my point to you, Fiona. And I'm not trying to catch you out. I'm not trying to trap you. I'm genuinely fascinated by this story. I watched the drama. I saw them declare it at the start as a true.
Dude, Piers, he's so phony when he says that. I just can't get the Hassan thing out of my head, right? When he's like, I tried to have a serious conversation with crackhead Barney. And Hassan is like, you tried to have a serious conversation with crackhead Barney? You know? I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't really buy Piers Morgan's good intentions of being captivated by story. What I buy more likely is Piers Morgan thinking, ooh, this is the #1 show and maybe I can, get 11 million views. Right?
Story.
This is
And I've
a
seen the
10
interviews
milli.
since with all various people, and it's clearly a very complex
This whole thing just
situation.
reeks to high heaven.
Unless I'm mishearing,
It does.
I think what you're saying is there is a possibility that you send a lot of emails
No,
and there's a lot of
no,
voice
I
messages,
didn't say
but that
that.
it doesn't mean that you did the more serious things.
Yeah, I am not saying at all that I sent loads of emails. You maybe misheard, play back the interview. What I'm saying is a handful at most. If I did, congratulations about the show.
But if he does
etc.
have 350 voice messages,
I know that he doesn't.
and it's your voice,
He doesn't.
and everyone can now hear your voice,
Unless he was taping me in the holy arms.
or he just kept them on his phone.
I didn't phone him. You sound unconvinced, but
No,
I
no,
didn't
I'm not.
phone him.
I
Yeah,
honestly,
I mean, what?
No. So
Well, dude, Piers is never convinced. Piers, I mean, he's trying to trap her. I mean, he's definitely doing the same thing I saw him do in the Hassan show, where he's like, Hassan, do you think this is okay? And Hassan said no. And then he's like, 5 minutes later, let me get this clear. I want to circle back and ask you again. I'm going to ask you the same question till Hassan was ready to just pull his earpiece out and punch the wall, right? So you suspect she did a lot? I mean, obviously something doesn't add up. Again, I don't really know what to make of this because Piers didn't do any homework. He's having this woman on with a case of question marks. Piers does not have any of the evidence. So he's trying to trap her, but if he really wanted to trap her, he would play some of the voicemails, right? Or show a couple screenshots of like 700 emails You know what I mean? It'd be real easy for him to trap her. The whole thing just feels like, I don't know, it feels stinky and fake. It does. It feels like grimy and fake in some way. And I can't tell if it's a Netflix fake or what. I mean, obviously there's probably more to her story than we know. And there's definitely more to that Gadd guy's story than we know, because that guy's out there making this pseudo reality TV show instead of actually confronting the people who supposedly traumatized him. That's really weird. That's weird behavior. That's not normally you would heal the damage and confront the people and then write a story about it, right?
Is your point that you challenging him to reveal this evidence?
No, I would challenge him to leave me alone.
Because you're calling him a liar and you're calling Netflix.
But how would he get the voicemails? You don't know if Richard Gadd would give it to him. Yeah, I know. No, I get that. But I feel like if you're going to have a show like this where you're inviting someone into a studio and you're putting this potential story in front of millions of eyes, as a journalist, if Piers considers himself a journalist, I feel like you should do a little bit of due diligence, at least speak with Netflix and get absolute confirmation that, yes, Netflix has all 41,000 emails. They're saying it, right? Because the approach Piers is taking is he's sort of dancing the line of representing what Netflix says and what Gadd says they have, and representing what she says they have, and riding a gray area in between, but while also not providing any clearly defamatory stuff, right? Like you look at the Fox News Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson was saying the election was stolen. They had text messages that they were lying. So therefore there's defamation. But Piers is sort of dancing on that line where he's not saying anything openly defamatory. Like, I don't think he actually did any real. He's probably just he's not bringing anything specific up from Netflix that if they were lying, you know, she would be able to catch them in defamation or whatever. And that's what makes it feel so weirdly fishy, right? That this is a huge story. Obviously 11 million views, #1 show in the world, supposedly. So where's his little journalistic integrity in all this?
Accomplice.
I didn't use those words.
Yeah,
I
no,
said
he's riding
the story, the play, the Netflix show is no.
He's riding the
But if
controversy.
they say that you sent 41,000 emails.
Well, they
350
are
voice
completely
messages.
wrong.
All 744
They're
tweets.
completely wrong.
So they are lying.
They are lying. Yes, okay, yeah. In effect, he is lying, and they are lying.
What do you
and
mean, in effect? Right? Like, even some of these answers are weird. You know, they're wrong. He's lying, in effect. In effect.
In order for a dramatization to be true, it's got to be, you know, the only defenses are veritas, I'm telling the truth, or...
Well, see, here's the problem. Here's the problem, right? The problem is this, is if a girl, I've had girls behave a little weird with me, okay? I have not had, like, waking up outside my window, chasing me around in the dark kind of stalking, but I have had women that left, you know, not sane numbers of text messages and or phone messages and or showed up at the bar I worked at every single night and acting like my girlfriend. I've definitely experienced some weird, overly possessive behavior. Now, if I were to write a show about, you know, being stalked and were to dramatize some of that overly obsessive behavior, sure, I would make it like, you know, if I got 18 phone calls, I would turn it into 400 because it's higher drama, right? You might over dramatize. However, if I were to write that show or a show like that, I wouldn't make the character look just like and be from the same location as the person that inspired the story, because that would be, I would have to secure the rights of a real human being if I were going to represent a real human being. Now, this is the problem. The problem is this guy's made a show that is very representative of a real human being. And so either he's not over dramatizing it, and then why didn't he go to the cops? Why didn't he get her arrested? Why is he making a TV show about it where she's going to be discovered and potentially be able to defame him or something? Why would he do all that if it's the real thing? And if he's really over dramatizing what was not that stalkerish of a behavior, then there's definitely, the fact that he kept her out of the loop or made the woman so resemble her. I mean, they've all made some choices that have created this reality TV drama situation that we're now consuming that I'm already starting to get bored with. But you know what I mean? The whole thing just reeks of bad influencer drama. I think.
The whole drama needs to be true. They have billed it as a true story, so has he, and it's not. It's blatantly not. Even if the email thing was true, the rest is not. So
why would you qualify that, Fiona?
Sorry, why would I what?
Why would you suddenly qualify even if it's true about the emails?
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Right, but when you say even if the emails were true,
I didn't say
I've not watched the show.
Doesn't mean the more serious stuff is.
I don't really want to watch the show. I'll be honest.
Rephrase that.
That's really what you're saying, right? I mean, I don't want to force you into saying anything that's not actually true, but it seems to me that it may be possible that you have communicated all this stuff with him, but that doesn't mean you did the more serious things.
That's true.
It doesn't mean you attacked his girlfriend. It doesn't mean you smashed up a bar. It doesn't mean you did any of those things or threatened anybody. It just, yes, you had a relationship with this guy and you did contact him a lot.
I knew this guy. I didn't contact him a lot. I've never said that in this interview at all.
No. But interestingly, for me, as an interviewer, and I'm just trying to get to the truth. You understand that?
No. I
honestly not trying to
see that. It's your show.
I'm not trying to trip you up. I'm just trying to get to the truth.
I see that.
He has put his version out
I'm
there.
sure
and the world has watched it.
Absolutely.
Millions and millions of people around the world have had Richard Gadd's version.
I know.
And I'm simply saying to you that you have a chance here, Fiona, I think, and take this any way you want. You have a chance here to concede that some of these things might be possible, but that doesn't mean the more serious things happen.
I mean, what I'm saying is...
Because the more serious stuff we know is serious, right? If you were...
if you were in the jail or something...
If you were a violent stalker or if you'd had a previous situation...
I'm doing well, man.
Interim incident, which we know was served on you.
No, it was not. Sorry to interrupt there. No, she has repeatedly maintained this over 25 years. I checked with the Sheriff Clark. Another lawyer checked with the Sheriff Clark. We think that the previous scenario happened. She does not have an interim interdict. I think she's quite wrong.
Okay.
If the Sheriff Clark can produce that and say she didn't muck up and minuted for decree, why was I not served an interim injunction?
If Richard Gadd is watching this, what's your message to him?
Leave me alone, please. Get a life, get a proper job. I am horrified at what you've done.
Get a proper job.
Will categorically be taking legal action.
Absolutely, against both him and Nexflix.
You said your boyfriend's a lawyer, so this can be done.
He's not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. Somebody else is.
But have you instructed lawyers?
We've instructed them in part, but we want to explore all the options out there. There are a number of people to sue. We can't all be in 10 courts all at once. So
who else are you planning to sue?
The Daily Mail. Anyone that's saying this is true and harassing me and
interesting. So it's gonna be. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna follow this because this kind of like gossipy drama is not the sort of shit I get into. But I mean, I don't know, Jay. Obviously, if she only sent 10 emails and if she didn't really leave messages, and they're lying about it, misrepresenting it as a true story. And she has a massive defamation case because this getting picked up by tabloids, becoming this worldwide show where everyone thinks she's a crazy stalker, That is hugely injurious. That could be a lot of money. And in fact, Netflix could make enough money from this show that if she files a suit, they settle out of court. They're going to try and lowball it. But I mean, you look at her, she doesn't look like she's wealthy. Netflix can easily pass her enough money and sign an NDA and pass her enough money that she is set for life, her and her new man or whomever, whatever she wants to do, right? She can go start a comedy club of her own, right? She can go write her own TV show, right? And they're going to make a ton of money. And before they would disclose anything. Because could Netflix lie? Well, yeah, we don't know. We don't know. I mean, I don't think Netflix actually sat down with Piers. See me watching, come knocking on my door? Nah, dude, I don't have shit. She ain't getting shit for me.
We have not had time to do everything.
But people lie and make fake beef and in the tabloid level all the time, okay? Because tabloid level is like pre-mainstream media. So yeah, all right. So Deadline though has picked it up. Okay. Us Weekly, that's still a little tabloid level. Slate though has picked it up. Forbes, right? I see Yahoo. Today. Okay. So this is starting to cross over into a lot of mainstream media. So this is one of those things where it didn't just stop at Daily Mail, okay? Which is normally like, so this is actually a real thing. One of two things is going to happen here where either A, she is going to likely file a suit if there's any lie to this, and Netflix will probably just pay it and make it go away. But I bet they ride it. I bet both sides ride this for a while. It's kind of like, you know, they're both going to get rich as long as they play this up, but it feels pretty lurid and toxic. Well, no, Peter, that guy was not him. Okay, that Sean Foley guy there, everybody has said that guy was falsely accused. Here's the real thing though, is whatever's going on is Netflix does not want discovery. Okay, Netflix does not want the real world to see the contents of their email and text messages talking about the release of this film and what's true and what isn't and what they know they're lying about and what they're not. Like Netflix will cut checks long before anybody sees the inside of their shit.
The investigation, if you sue.
Because that's where it gets bad, bro. That's where it gets into that Fox News 700 million territory.
And it turns out that 41,000 emails did come from a device belonging to you. How would you feel about that?
I wouldn't be suing if I thought there were 41,000 emails out there.
Well, yeah, but she's not actually suing yet, right? So she says I wouldn't be suing, but there is no lawsuit yet. So the whole thing still feels lurid tabloid sort of shit.
You understand how easy it is to find them?
I understand completely.
And that if they did exist and you're categoric that they didn't, it would obviously
It wouldn't
impact
blow the
on
whole
you.
case. It wouldn't blow the case against Netflix and it wouldn't blow the case against him.
No, you
because
might
he's
well have
making out it's a true story.
No.
If you see what I mean, I'm back to my original position.
I understand, and I understand that it's obviously put your life.
Yeah, I'm not really buying that because if they do have 41,000 emails from her, you know, what is she suing about? Because that is actually fucking crazy, you know? I don't know what she'd be suing at that point. The only thing that is from an ethical standpoint, it would seem that he should have filed charges, but maybe filing charges, maybe this is the way to go because now he's going to get rich off of it. Maybe it's better.
It's very
and their central
for
claim
him. I don't know if it's illegal.
Made all this effort not to lead to you being identified. I don't think stands water.
I don't think it stands water.
To me, it's pretty. I could have listen. I've been a journalist 40 years. I could have discovered it was you in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
One side of one.
Yes, I agree. I
that
discovered
journalist
when I saw the
tag
BBC breaking
it's questionable
news Baby Reindeer show at the Edinburgh Festival.
Piers.
When I was Googling up just the news that day or the weather or something.
He's using
And
that
this came up,
term
and
loosely.
he was holding up a placard or a newspaper article, MP's wife stalker. All you need to do is Google that. Then I saw the name of the show and I thought, bloody hell, what's he up to? And I tried to get a friend to go see the show because she was based in Edinburgh, but she was on holiday. Nobody I know had seen that show either. So I was really shocked. I was very upset for 2-3 days. And then the general plan of action among my close friends was, look, just, you know, let him get on with things. He's not going to be that damaging. You don't really know him. This will go away.
When did you last have any contact with him?
Famous last words. Years ago.
This will go away?
Years ago, no. I left the Holy Arms, didn't go back, and he was calling me a stalker and things, and there were various things happening in the Holy Arms. You know, other women were warning me about them and everything, yeah.
About him?
About him and others with bad conduct.
Bad conduct. Got through with
your
run, let's go.
That he and Netflix say you sent. Well, here's my point. You've admitted sending him one, and that presumably was a handwritten letter.
Could it be, are you thinking I was maybe mistaken, that I maybe did? And
No. I'm just saying, if we accept the one that you admit to sending,
dude, this is
in your own handwriting.
So low grade, bro.
5 letters in your
Piers,
handwriting.
Nonsense. It's nonsense.
Are you prepared for him to show that one?
He's maybe forged things. I mean, people forge a lot of things nowadays.
You think he could successfully write 105 letters to himself?
Well, I certainly didn't.
No, but you admit to sending one. My point is, if it turns out the other 105 are exactly the same handwriting, wouldn't that point to maybe...
we would obviously bring in handwriting experts. I didn't do it.
You only ever sent one letter?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't sent that guy 106 letters.
Do you still email people?
Can you hear me? Dude, the Matrix got us. This is an important detail here. Now, all of a sudden, at minute 44, we're hearing that she has, like, multiple email accounts.
I haven't sent that guy 106 letters.
Do you still email people?
What do you mean?
You send email?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Do you have the same email address you've always had?
I had 6 at one point.
Why?
Because I like to keep people on different phones and different emails.
6 emails. She likes to keep people on different phones and different emails. See, that's some weirdness right there, bro. I mean, I have a couple emails. I have like 3 or 4 from, you know, various work projects and stuff like that. But different phones, that thing she said right there, I like to keep people on different phones and different emails. That's a little weird. That's a little weird.
Different email accounts,
maybe 4. I think it's 4 to 6, yeah. It's easier.
It's
easier.
Was it
so
4?
You have some for your utilities, some for close friends, whatever. Yeah.
The 6 is a lot.
Is it?
I don't know anybody with 6 email addresses.
You don't know many people then. I know people with 4 or 6 email addresses.
So was it 4 or 6?
I can't remember. Probably 6.
How many do you use today?
I had 4 phones. I've got 1 today, but I only email select.
Dude, she had 4 phones. Dude, yeah, she is definitely a little off. Everybody in this story is a little off, okay? They are, dude. The guy writing it, like having this whole trauma porn sort of story that's true, but not true. And then he's saying, oh, don't go looking for these people. That's off. Okay, this woman is definitely off. Dude, this woman is auditioning for Kathy Bates' role in Misery, without a doubt, right? And she's all over the map. And Piers is off because he's like one step away from Jerry Springer, you know, trying to have a serious conversation. Dude, this whole thing just reeks of like dirty fingers dipping into the reality TV bunghole, you know, smearing it around the map. The whole thing is like everyone's gonna get rich, right? And they'll probably I would imagine Netflix will let her just go on a rampage, right? They'll let her just go everywhere and run it up, and all the while with their lawyers tracking everything she says. So then if she does try to sue them, they just cut her off at the knees, lowball her to sign a 300-page NDA, shut her the hell up. She goes away with more money than she would have ever made in her life, and they all get rich, right? And Piers is looking for the next crackhead Barney to line up, bro. Oh man, dude. It's like an episode of that OC House Realtor show or whatever.
And you had 4 phones.
Jesus.
Yeah.
4
2
phones.
broke. They were very, very old. One was brand new and broke, and it's still to be returned to the shop. I like
4 phones.
As well.
4 phones.
A maniac or a stalker or something. But if you
All right, 4 phones. 4 phones for some random woman who just has a job and hangs out at the pub is not normal. All right? That is factual. You can see it on his face, dude. 4 phones, not normal.
I only email select friends.
And you had 4 phones.
Yeah, 2 broke. They were very, very old.
2
One was
broke.
brand new and broke, and it's still to be returned to the shop. I like keeping people on separate phones as well. And maybe that makes me a maniac or a stalker or something. But if you've got somebody on about your electricity bill or somebody on about some work or something, it's nice to keep it separate, you know. So,
Dude, why does she have a phone for the electricity bill? Yo, I got a phone for my electricity bill. I got another phone for my car insurance. I got a phone for my work friends. I got a phone for my girlfriend. I got a phone for my family. I got a phone for like the neighbors on this side of the street. I got a phone for the neighbors on that side of the street. I got a jacket here with just 9 phones in it. Like, who's ringing? Who's calling me? Oh, the electric bill's calling. Dude, she's sitting outside. Dude, Manda, let's go with the 5 gifteds. Let's go, dude. You see somebody outside and the inside of their car is lit up like there's a spotlight in there because she's got all 9 phones going. Thank you, Manda, for the gifteds and the tier 1. We love you a lot.
I didn't do that in Scotland. You didn't have to. The volume of calls
Do you
down
think,
here is-
Fiona, do you think if somebody did send someone
Yeah.
41,000 emails, 350
I think that's
voice messages,
excessive. obviously. Yeah.
would that mean someone's stalking someone?
Yeah, 2 phones is normal. A work
Yes
phone,
and
a
no.
personal
I mean, it
phone.
could be, could be your wife.
Totally
it could be
normal.
You know, you're maybe sending emails every day about the kids or something like that. I don't know. 41,000 is a lot. That's how many a day? My maths isn't working this
It's a lot.
night. But it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. That doesn't necessarily mean they're stalking somebody. They could be great friends. You know, they could have been friends for 50 years or something.
Was he ever your friend, Richard Gadd?
No.
He said it was 4 years, which we did the calculation. 4 years is like 10,000 a year, which works out to like 28 a day. Okay, give or take, right? If it was over 4 years, right? 10,250 a year came out to like 28 a day, which is stalkerish, but not undoable. I could 28 email somebody a day. You know, it would have to be, you know, it'd have to be someone I was very invested with. Right? Right? I mean, but 28 emails is not impossible in a day if you're not writing long ones.
Staff asked me that as well. No, I don't think so.
You had a lot of banter with him.
I've definitely
Yeah, but
gone
banter's
through
one
times
thing,
where I
Scottish
did
banter
more
down
than
here
50
is
work emails a
like,
day.
welcome. You know, it's not really fun city, is it? It's not jokey city.
Were you ever in love with him?
Jokey city.
Yes. Is that a serious question?
Yeah.
No. No.
It's not a question of, by his own admission, he has said that he led you on at times. And he clearly
I gave him the brush off. He asked me to sleep with him with a big green spot in his face one day. I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested.
He asked you to do what?
He asked me to sleep with him. He said, would I like my curtains fixed? And I laughed. And he said, that's a euphemism. Do you want me to come home with you? And I said, I've got a boyfriend. I gave him the brush off.
Oh, she gave him the brush.
Well, big time, I think. You know,
Why?
it's
Why?
subtly-
Big time.
subtly so, but the bottom line is,
didn't
I think
fancy
this
him?
is behind him. No, I don't fancy him. I don't fancy little boys without jobs. That sounds awful. That sounds really.
She's
really
taking a
callous,
dig.
but, you know.
Dude, she earlier in the thing, she casually threw in there that she thought he was homosexual, right? And Piers didn't even, I don't know if he just glazed over, decided to let that one just cruise through the room.
People will watch this who've watched the Netflix series, and like me, they will be trying to work out where the truth lies. It seems to me that either you're innocent in the way that you've claimed to be, and you've been horribly defamed here. I think at the very least,
she keeps making those noises.
And Richard Gadd's duty of care has been a spectacular failure.
I agree.
Right, regardless of anything else, regardless of your culpability of anything, the duty of care has failed because people identified you incredibly quickly. So they've made this what they say is a true story, and everyone's worked out it's you, and the picture they paint is of a completely crazy
those noises
ruining a man's
freak
life.
me out a little bit.
Albeit he accepts that some of his behaviour may have led the person on.
Can I ask a question? Do you happen to know how much he's made out of this Netflix thing?
I would imagine several £1 million.
Yes, I would say 3 to 4 million. A lawyer I know well thought he was a wee nobody, and he suggested 750 to 100,000. I said, no, I think you're looking more about 3 or 4 million. And I think the more he publicises, it goes up. According to how much it's streamed. I don't know what the contract they signed. I think he's done bloody well out of defaming me.
Do you resent that?
I don't resent any Scot getting on. This is not what this is about.
But he's effectively making money out of what he says.
He's making money out of
what
my
he says
misery,
is you stalking him.
Yeah, he's making money out of untrue facts. He's been the ultimate misogynist. The actress was also not appealing for calm. He was appealing for calm. I think he did that to sort of stir things up more. I think they knew exactly what they were doing. And I think your staff were talking about Martha, the sequel or something like this. It's just completely
That's what
crazy.
people are hinting at.
It's completely crazy. Well,
Dude, what if she's in on it, right? What if they brought her out and they already have Martha the sequel and she's like a part of it? And so they're creating this whole drama, right? It feels like it absolutely could be shitty reality TV influencer drama. She goes on Piers. Everyone in the world picks it up. It becomes this huge thing. It drives all this traffic to Netflix and the show and Baby Reindeer, and they merchandise it and they run with it. And then they like announce a show that she's going to be involved with, right? They pull everyone together. Next thing you know, him and her are going around doing a comedy tour together, right? Where he's doing comedy and she like is in the audience or some shit. I mean, the whole thing could just be, the whole thing could just be a ginormous reality TV ruse.
Your staff put that to me and put to me, should I write a book about this? Well, I've got other things to do, but it's a possibility.
You got a law degree.
Yeah.
Law degree. So you're obviously very bright. How did you do at school?
I've got a photographic memory. I was top of the school, apart from the science.
All right, well, there's a little thing. She's got a photographic memory, but she couldn't remember if she had 4 or 6 emails. Remember that? Like, not 3 minutes ago, she was like, it was 4 or 6, 4 to 6, right? But she has a photographic memory. But, no, you don't. Because if you had a photographic memory, you would know the exact number of emails you had, right? You would be able to tell the exact number of emails and voice messages you sent. Photographic memories are photographic memories. They're not like... You can't remember if it was 4 or 6. Dude, this thing just gets shittier. It gets like stinkier the more we watch it. All right, there's only 4 minutes left though. So
which school was that?
Balfour High. I went to the science.
The old 4 to 6 photographic memory.
How many O and A levels did you end up with?
I got 6 hires. 2 SYSs, and they were all most were A-band 1s, which was when the A-band 1 was top of the thing.
And with your law degree, what grade did you get?
Not bad. I mean, all right.
What
You
was it?
know, I just did an ordinary degree and then a diploma in legal practice.
Well,
and I did a
what grades did you
politics
get for them?
degree. All right grades. All right grades. But, you know, I went out
what were they?
partying. I didn't do an honors degree. So, you know, just bog standard grades,
What
really.
degree did you did a law degree or?
I did a law degree with 13 subjects, 13 law subjects. So it wasn't the CPE or anything, which I also have from down here, but it was 13 law subjects.
This is from Aberdeen University.
Yeah.
So what degree did you end up with?
A law degree, and then I did a politics degree after that.
And what grade
politics,
did you get for
women's studies. I did substantially better in that because I did more work. You know, I think in our day, when you went to university, you did.
There's a reason you say you got a photographic memory, but
Yeah.
what grades did you get?
All right grades. I mean, not top of the year or anything.
No,
but all right
you get
grades.
when you do a degree, you get a.
Yeah, you're asking me what marks I got for 13 subjects. I can't remember.
Well, no, you end up with it. Did you get a first class degree?
Oh, no. Well, I said I didn't do an honors degree. I wanted to go out and practice, so it was an ordinary degree I did.
Right, but you can't remember how you did.
I did all right. I didn't do top of the year.
Dude, where's her photographic memory, bro?
The other graduates
Shit
at the
is.
same time, they'd all remember you.
She's got a
Some of them
squishy
remember me.
photographic
One of them
memory.
did incredibly well. He's a high court judge. Some people didn't do well. I think the general idea in the 80s was we didn't really do much work. That sounds absolutely awful, but you know, that was kind of the 80s.
If it came to it, would you take a lie detector test?
Yeah. Possibly. Yeah, I would need to.
Possibly.
consult other
Come on,
lawyers about
We
Piers.
that.
set one up. You would do it.
A
You
lie
got one
detector
set?
test for what? You
Is
know,
he gonna
Well,
bring
no,
out the
police-
guy right now?
The police use them. They're just
See, that would be drama if he brought out the guy right now. He's like, here we go. They just cuff her up, clip on the fingers, and let it roll, dude.
They use them for mass
Now
murder
that
and
would be
things like
some
that.
hard-hitting journalism.
Well, no, they use them in many cases just to determine whether they think someone's telling
They
the truth.
don't use them that much. I know you've done the programs of women behind bars and things. I confess, I think I've just seen one, but it's not used that much.
Well, look, I'll be honest with you.
I've had to have a think.
Since
yeah.
you mentioned it, I've done a lot of crime interviews with people who've committed way worse offences than what you've been accused of.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I know you have.
You know, way more. Mass
She's
murderers,
not
serial
like
killers and so
sweating
on.
bullets
And
or anything, though.
You know, they're all, I've got to say, almost all of them are very good liars. Could it be, people to be asking this, watching you thinking, either she's genuinely innocent here, or she's a terrible liar who is capable of all of these things.
I don't lie, and I tell white lies if I absolutely have to. Like,
Could do the George Costanza where if you believe it, it's not a lie.
when my 94-year-old ex-neighbour was dying, we all knew she was dying, and I'd phoned her in the hospital the night before, and I lied and said, you know, have a good sleep, everything's going to be fine, and that, you know. So I'll tell a white lie like that when somebody clearly needed some rest. And
How many times did you meet Richard Gadd?
don't know,
What would you guess?
5, 6, maybe 5, 6 times.
That's it.
Yeah,
In your life.
yeah.
How do you think it's come to this? If that's all true,
I think he wanted to make money. I think he picked on somebody. There was a backstory there with that stalker article out there, right? So stalking's in vogue. Going to prisons in vogue.
Going to prisons in
what a
vogue?
right to
I
say,
mean,
or
if you work for
English
Donald
lectures or
Trump,
something,
maybe.
write about what you know.
and to people who are watching, look down the barrel of that
Yeah,
camera.
I'm looking.
To people who are watching this and who still doubt you, what do you say to them?
I think you should watch this. I think you should look at the number of articles that Richard Gadd and Jessica, the actress, have done, and how Netflix and he have promoted this. I think you should look at him saying, I am some sort of mental case, and judge for yourselves, because I can't change your mind on this. I can just rebut what has been said. You need to make up your own minds. But my mind is made up. He's a liar. And my friends say likewise.
Fiona Harvey, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
All right. Dude, that was pretty lurid and pretty trashy, actually. It's a solid hour of entertainment, though. Fuck it. I'm going to go at it. I'm going to go make this a YouTube video. I'm going to get in there, see if I can fucking hit the cash register. Cha-ching. Right? Let's go.